This is Macil Duncan, and it's Friday. I'm going to have a short show today. If you're listening to Street Level America, they're playing a different show today. We had a huge ministry day downtown, and I was unable to be here by 3, our normal kickoff, but we were downtown feeding the hungry and the homeless. And let me just say that it was another tearjerker. A lot of hungry people. And not to mention our absent food pantry today, we had 40 people in line before we even started serving food in cars. They were already they were lined out to Apis and Pike. So be in prayer there. We could use money for food, and we can use food drives. So contact me if you're interested. A lot of stuff happening. I just wanted to mention to you one. Teens shoot 3 Memphis cops in Memphis. This just happened today. One officer is murdered. 2 have been hospitalized. One of the teen that did the shooting involved was just released without bond last month for a serious crime. So we've got a problem there in Memphis. Memphis police officers responded to a call about a suspicious vehicle this morning. Around 2 a.m. and 2 teenage boys were found on the scene of the alleged crime and became engaged in a shootout with police officers. One of the teens, 18 years old, was recently caught inside a stolen vehicle by police officers with an illegal modified firearm that could be used as a machine gun. He was arrested and released without bond in March. Now, because we are so soft on crime, we have a police officer dead, murdered, and 2 in the hospital. We got a problem here, my friends, and I just thought I'd bring that to your attention. And this is in the Gateway Pundit. If you'd like to know more, just keep that in mind. The other things that we got going on here, let's see. There we are. Chattanooga Press is reporting that the voucher program has been stalled. Tennessee voucher program, the plan to install legislatures enters into final week, but they're facing some uphill hurdles evidently. The story was originally published a couple of weeks ago, but here's today's update that just dropped. Tennessee Governor Bill Lee pushed to create a statewide school voucher system and running out of time as Republican lawmakers work to reconcile significantly different proposals and iron out disagreements over student testing requirements. It bottoms out to this. If we pass student voucher programs in all, I think it's 94 districts in Tennessee, that means parents have a choice. They can homeschool with that money. They can put their kid in a private school. And what their biggest fear, and it should be, is that public school, which is already in a decline, will hit an all-time low, lower than it is now. To me, competition breeds excellence. If you made the public schools have to compete academically with homeschool and private school over money, they'll drop the crappy agendas, the sexualization, and say, we better start teaching the kids how to read, write, and add, and how to just do the basics of what we were really hired to do, and put our stupid agendas aside. Just my opinion. But we're seeing this thing stall. So those are things happening in Tennessee. We have a shooting in Memphis, the voucher system that the governor promised in a way that would go statewide has been stalled by the Republicans themselves. But we got cherry on the top today. Blaze Media is reporting Tennessee requires law enforcement to report illegal migrants to federal authorities under the new law. Some of you don't realize the victory here. There was a push to try to make Nashville, which is the largest growing city now in the country, to become a sanctuary city. This will stop that. You don't want a sanctuary city in Tennessee. The next one they'll try will be Memphis or Chattanooga, I'll bet you. Chattanooga has been dubbed a smart city. Don't be surprised if they try to bring in some of that, because when you allow sanctuary cities and sanctuary policies in your state and in your cities, what happens is your crime automatically goes up, your illegal immigration goes up, but your federal funding comes in like a fountain. So a lot of folks say, hey, we'll take the fountain of funds and ignore the crime and ignore the prostitution, the drugs, and all that, because that affects the common people, not us rich people behind the scenes that pull all the strings. Be praying for Tennessee. Tennessee has been solid red in all the elections. I think Jimmy Carter may have been the last president, Democrat, that Tennessee lit up for. I'm pretty sure. I know we stayed red through the Clintons and through the Obamas, and of course through Reagan and through the Bushes, and we did through Trump. But I'm not sure about Jimmy Carter. I think we may have went blue. They're trying to turn Tennessee purple, meaning bring enough blue into Nashville. Because see, what happens is, for instance, you look at Illinois. Chicago pretty much dictates the whole state. Even though the huge suburbs around Illinois and out in the other outer parts of Illinois is very conservative. We've had some people come to our church, have transferred from Illinois to Tennessee, and they've said that. The reason they left is they were sick and tired that Chicago controlled the outcomes of their state elections. And so they sought a place that had their like values, which is Tennessee, if you're a conservative. So that's interesting. So way to go, Governor Lee. Pastor salute. He signed into law that all illegal migrants must be, when they're arrested, must be turned into federal authorities as protocol, meaning ICE, Homeland Security, etc. So Governor Lee, good job on that, my friend. I know some people want to always find his faults. I try to be nice and find the times he does good, and he did good this time. Well, tyranny passes the House. You may have heard this, but the FISA warrantless spy, Speaker Johnson let it go through, and I like the guy personally, and I love hearing him talk about faith and country and God, but boy, am I disappointed that he is folded like a deck chair. The Gateway Pundit has the deal, and they said 126 Republicans voted yes to snoop on Americans without meaningful limits. If you go to the Gateway Pundit, they actually list all the GOP that voted. That way, if you would like to keep that in mind with elections coming up, you may want to say, if you're going to vote to spy on us, maybe we ought to get you out of office, so then therefore you can become one of us and be spied upon. So anyway, they have them listed by state. They got an Alabama representative. Aldenholt must be a very rare area of Alabama. Alabama's usually pretty conservative. I'm trying to see if any of our Tennessee people let us down. I'm not seeing a Tennessean that voted for this. I'm just scanning quickly, but there's 126 names here, and very, very disappointing that the GOP let us down. So, my friends, you are now completely without any privacy. Your home, your social media, anything you have now can be, without a warrant, searched and seized by your federal government. So, never forget Chris Wray. FBI illegally used FISA to spy on Americans 278 times without warrant, including Trump, January 6 families, and the Trump donors. This was an attempt to wake up Congress, but it did no good, because 126 Republicans went ahead and bowed and joined to vote in the renewed FISA warrantless spy program. The final vote on Section 702 of the Foreign Surveillance Act won 273 to 147, and betraying the American people. The legislation now heads to the Democrat Senate, and they're going to pass it. I mean, they'll probably do that. El Mucho, they're not going to handle Mayorkas, but they love spying on people. That's what they do. Peekaboo, we hate you. So anyway, the surveillance is going to the Senate, and once it passes, Joe Beau will probably sign it in law. But it looks like they may have had enough in the House, and it's going to probably get that much. They may be able to pass it in the law without the president's signature. They've got a high percentage on that, and it's very, very sad. Trump-hating FBI Director Andrew McCabe finally comes clean. I don't know if he got a cancer diagnosis or what's going on, but Andrew McCabe has finally come clean and says Carter Page's FCI application to spy on Trump was wrong and a mistake. Let's see. Trump was in office for 4 years. That happened right at the beginning. Biden's been in for over 3. So let's just 6.5 years later, McCabe decides to tell the truth. Why? Do you think they're worried about Donald Trump winning in 2024? And they're all, because you notice there's a lot of liberals right now acting different. And here's McCabe. Let's get a little more scoop on this. Trump-hating former FBI acting director Andrew McCabe joined CNN Jim Acosta on Wednesday to defend FISA's secret spying on American citizens. McCabe finally admitted that the Carter Page FCI application used by the deep state to spy on Trump and his administration in an attempt to bring him down was a mistake. I wonder why now. Because it appears they're winning. They're getting this new super duper FISA. We can search and seize without a warrant. Why is he all of a sudden saying, yeah, that was a mistake? It would appear they've got all the cards. Or do they? Because with this new passing, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If Donald Trump becomes president and they've passed warrantless searches, do you understand what could happen? Both sides are going to use this now. But Trump could literally go in and search and seize so much stuff through his Department of Justice that would make what they've been doing to January 6th and his people look like a happy meal. It's very interesting why they're doing it now. You would think if I was the Democrats and I had a good sense in my mind that Biden's not doing well in the polls and Trump might win, why would you pass a bill that if Trump gets in gives him the Thor sledgehammer? Thor, the superhero, he's got the big hammer and it makes him fly. Whenever he strikes the ground, the earth shakes and quivers and he calls down lightning bolts. They just gave Trump the Thor hammer. If this works out the way, if Trump wins, and I'm just saying, and he wants to use this full advantage, which I think he will, he can go, and I know the Q and the 17 committee saying, that's part of the plan. I hope it is. I don't know, but I'm just telling you. I don't understand sometimes the strategy of the Democrats. You would think they would want to wait on this and push it through after Biden gets in or whoever to see who wins. I don't see why you would push this through when the election's in doubt. But they have their reasons, and they don't always make sense. Amen? Okay, well, I just wanted to bring you up to speed on some of those things. It's going to be a short one today. The other thing I thought I'd tell you is we are having some local stations back in Chattanooga here that want to pick up the show, and I'll have to wait to give you the good news. But that's in the works, and we've got several that have sat down and talked with me and my team. The other thing is we are experiencing a little bit of delay on our Facebook, and I apologize that those of you that are counting on Facebook. Facebook doesn't like to play fair. So with the Rumble and X, locals.com, the YouTube page, True Social, and the others, it's going fine there. But the Facebook feed has been interrupted with. So I'm sorry, but whatever you can do to like and share the show, we appreciate. It is Friday, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. And don't forget, there's somebody hungry out there. And I'll just close by, there's a guy named Rick. If you pray for him, I prayed with him today downtown. He's about 6'4". I stand 6 foot, so he towered over me. And as he started sharing, he just started crying. A big grizzly dude with the big beard. We gave him some free food, a resource package with hygiene items and stuff in it, and some food. We gave out packets of donuts, and he was just touched. And he went from cracking up and stuff. We were talking, how guys do. When I said, hey, bud, can I pray for you? And he looked at me, and he started lip quivering and shaking his head. And I'll also tell you there were several people sleeping on the street again, just hovered up with these old blankets. I'm just amazed. So the economy, our food pantry had the record. We had more people lined up before we started. And we gave away all we had today. We ran out of food downtown. I'm telling you, there's hungry people. If you'd like to donate, please go to www.apisonbaptist.com. That's apisonbaptist.com, APISON. Any amount will be appreciated as you consider donating. God bless, Godspeed, my friends. And don't forget my book, Move Your Mountains. Learn the journey of faith. It can change your life. I'm going to cut that off today and taking the wife on a date.